What is up, guys? Welcome to my Ranger guide video part 1. I'm not sure how many parts there are actually going to be. I'm broken it down for the first part at least from level 1 to 55 to give some basic level info on how to level up the Ranger in terms of what skills you should go for or what skills you should use to level up. You know, a little bit of basic gearing and such things like that I'm going to include in this video. Follow-up videos will start to include the early levels of the Awakening. And then after that, the later levels of the Awakening and more serious PvP with Rangers. But for this one, we're just going to look at all the early levels up to level 55, or in other words, pre-awakened Ranger. Now with Black Desert, it's very important that you look at a class post-awakening, because if you only look at the pre-awakening, your class is going to change significantly in most cases, although not all, when it becomes a post-awakened class. Ranger is one of the good examples of this, because before the Awakening, you're sort of this typical archer range DPS sort of class, but with post-awakening skills you become much more of a sort of highly mobile assassin melee class, I would say. And so it's important that if you want to play a ranger that you understand that and you're okay with that, because it does change the class. Now I play archers, rangers, and all sorts of MMOs, and I'm perfectly fine with how the Awakening of Ranger plays. Don't get me wrong, I would love there to be more buffs to the bow, but apparently that is coming with the second Awakening. But at the time of this guide, we don't really know anything about that, only that supposedly there is supposed to be a system that will improve the pre-awakening skills' usefulness. But I don't see there ever being a case where they completely disregard the Awakening altogether. So as a result, I would make sure that the Awakening is definitely something that suits you. So what should you be looking for in a class if you were to pick a Ranger? Well, the class is a very high skill ceiling, so if you like classes that are going to give you a challenge or very difficult to master, Ranger might just be the class for you. If you want a high mobile, high risk, high reward assassin class, Ranger may also be the class for you. It's very, very good in 1v1s once you master and gear the class up a bit, but you should be aware the class falls off quite a lot when it comes to large scale PvP. Those of us that still main Rangers in sieges are still hoping that the second Awakening will be sort of the second coming for Ranger in larger scale combat. But regardless, if you're looking for a challenge, this may just be the class for you. So if you're starting as a brand new player and Ranger is going to be your first class, you're not actually re-rolling to Ranger, you won't have any help in terms of gear, so you'll start off with not a lot of damage going out, and there isn't really great early stage Ranger combos or skills that you can spam in order to efficiently clear mobs. You're just going to try and use Tearing Arrow when you get it a little bit, and maybe Blasting Gust knock them down beforehand, but it's not great. If you can gear it up, then that's fine. You know, you obviously clear through the early stuff. You should do all the Black Spirit quests straight up to the Ancient Stone Chamber. If you want to go straight for 50, that's kind of where you would stop doing Black Spirit quests until you could go back and do them again at level 50. But play how you want to play. But if you, I'm just going to treat this as if you're going to go straight for level 50. So. Yeah, I'm clearing these guys not because they have a quest, even though this is the quest right after the Ancient Stone Chamber where you get to enhance things, but I'm just clearing them because they're there. But regardless, yeah, there's nothing going to be great. You know, you can see me using Tearing Arrow, but it's kind of weak at this stage and I don't have any gear. As soon as you can afford to do so, buy a Razar longbow off the market through either the market or special deals itself, which is generally the better way to get it, but I'm not really sure. Sometimes it is more expensive that way. Regardless, you can see me here buying gear because it turned out that although I started this character on NA, so I'd have nothing to go with, because my account was so old, I actually had all the stuff in the mail that Cacao given us over the course of a year, you know, so I actually ended up having quite a lot of money to spend. So the gear that I'm buying here is what you should buy as a new Ranger. You might as well buy a heave chest, although you could eventually replace that heave chest with a quest chest, the dim magical armor that maxes out at level 56, I think. But regardless, this stuff is basically what you'd go for. I bought a steel dagger right off the market because there wasn't any on there and it was already pre-upgraded. You won't have this good gear generally if you're a brand new character going into this, obviously, so but you still want to kind of aim for this stuff. It's not that difficult to upgrade your own Razar to like +7 or something. It's not too difficult, and the attendance rewards will give you plenty of black stones, and you'll also get money as you level up anyway, starting at like level 30 I think from achievements, so that's nice as well. If you're not going to buy pets, that might slow you down a little bit, unfortunately, because you're going to be picking your own stuff, so it's a little bit slower, but pets are really nice if you're going to. I would always recommend those, like the one thing that I would buy if I was starting over. Pets kind of the thing you really should get. Playing the game without them is not so good. That's one of the few cash up things I think you desperately need. Although as a ranger, quite sadly, you kind of need the weight limits and other things like that as well. But regardless, to start out with pets really help. But yeah, so level 18 here, you can come over here at like level 17, I guess, and clear these guys out at the Moretti Plantation. They give plenty of XP. You don't have to stay there for that long though. At like 19 or whatever, you can move on. And at level 20, you get a skill called Evasive Explosive Shot for free. You don't have to invest in anything, although you would want to upgrade it. But regardless, at level 1, it still does plenty of damage, especially when you've got the gear that the ranger I have here is able to use. So yeah, you just basically spam Evasive Explosive for a lot of levels. These rebels were really easy to kill, and then you kind of move on to this place, which is the cultist shrine, I guess, in Serendia, and it's really nice XP. You can stay here for quite a long time too, like up to like level 30 is fine. You could even go a little bit further than that, although typically I move on to orcs at level 30, but it really depends on your gear. If you feel like you need to stay a little bit longer and the XP is still fine, just I encourage you to stay, really, because you know you still have travel time and things like that. So stay where you think is efficient for your current kill. If you don't want to move on too early, you don't have to. One of the things I found about like leveling up on NA this is the first time I've been able to do Olvia servers. The amount of terrible advice I saw in channel chat was awful. I had to turn channel chat off. But here you can see I've moved on to Karutos at level 32. Karutos are really nice XP as well, but generally I don't really stay there for all that long because there's an even better XP spot once you get a little bit leveled. Mostly the thing that limits you, especially when you've got gear like this, is your accuracy, which you'll need the levels for. So yeah, but the Olvia channel, like the advice and tips they were giving each other made me cringe so hard I had to turn it off because it was really tilting me. But I decided that I was going to form a group with these guys. You know, it's an MMO, why not? So formed a group with 2 other guys, and we were going to go at level 34. I told them I was going to meet them at Abandoned Land, which is really nice. So yeah, through these things that I got through the mail, through, you know, I guess having an old account, I was able to get a crescent ring from a fine accessory box, which I sold. So you can see I'm buying the rest of the early starter gear, so you probably wouldn't have remotely close to this gear if you're a brand new player, so don't worry about it, but this is actually the stuff you'd want to go for, and I also just 0 fail stack to Schultz belt for the meme. But regardless, this is the kind of gear that you would actually go for. It's good really early starter gear, so you know, your steel dagger, your Razar longbow, 2 blue coral earrings, 2 red coral rings, excuse me, 2 red coral rings, and Schultz necklace and Schultz belt, and so it's really good early stuff. So you can see there I've gotten level 41, and at level 41 you get a skill called Ultimate Evasive Shot, which is awesome because it allows you to spam skills like Blasting Gust and, more importantly, Will of the Wind for leveling. You can see I'm using it there. This allows you to spam the skill Will of the Wind, and it just deletes mobs really quickly. You can use this as much as you like. It's going to drain your stamina quickly and your mana quickly, so you're going to have to be careful about that. Ranger needs a lot of pots, and it never really stops needing a lot of pots, unfortunately. Although there is stuff you can do to mitigate that, such as getting extraction crystals for your bow. That'll help quite a lot. Now you can see I started Abandoned Land at level 34 and I left at 43, I think. And you can see I'm here at Catfish. This is kind of too early for Catfish, but I'm getting away with it because I have decent gear, obviously, for the level. But I still miss a lot because of the accuracy. My damage is actually really sufficient. It's just I'm just hitting or missing a lot of my hits. So this is too early really to be at Catfish. You should probably move from Abandoned Land to somewhere like Giants, Chimeras, or Sawmills. But I hate all of those areas, or I guess there's owls as well, but I hate all those areas, so I skip them as often as possible. So I went straight to Catfish, which is an incredible grind spot. This place is fine to level 50. In fact, you could actually stay here to 51, but I would begin to go to Madaya if your gear is good enough. Which this gear is. So yeah, you can just basically see I'm just cleaning these up and leveling up relatively quickly. The higher level I get, the faster I kill them, purely because of accuracy, which is really important when you're killing these mobs. So you can't skip too much, just purely because you'll end up missing too many of the mobs. But you can see I'm still Will of the Wind spamming. Now the next level is really important because the next level gives me Ultimate Charging Wind, which is otherwise known as Shotgun, the first grade of it. The second grade of Shotgun I think is 55. I'm not 100% positive. It's 55 or 54. I'm not 100% positive. But you see there I got Ultimate Charging Wind. So this is Shotgun, the first grade of it. It looks green. It looks red when you've got it leveled max. But yeah, this is a very powerful skill. Basically, the Ranger bread and butter before you get level 56 in your Awakening. And even then, it's still an okay PvE skill, although you generally skip to your awakening skills once you're level 56. But this will be what you'll use to level all the way up to 55. I didn't level this character to 55 because I didn't really feel like there was a point, since all the skills that you're gonna stick with you will get by level 46 really. So I just leveled it at 50 because yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much that for the skills you're gonna use. Basically, it goes from ultimate evasive shot. Sorry, not ultimate evasive shot. Evasive explosive shot. Sorry, I always struggle with that word for some reason. Evasive explosive shot until you get ultimate evasive shot. There we go. At level 41, and then at level 46, you move on to shotgun. You can actually still use Will of the Wind spam with ultimate evasive shot, but yeah. So this is just showing you how to use the skills. So basically, A or D. Plus F will allow you to spam Will of the Wind. It's a very powerful skill, and I always use it to start with into shotgun because it does a range debuff. You can see it on the top, the HP of the scarecrows there. You can see the range debuff. So basically, their range defense is lower. So yeah, you can see in the little skill, well, not the skills, the buttons I have on the window, you can see what buttons I'm pressing. So here I'm getting Blasting Gust 3, which is where you'd want to stop. Don't go any further than Blasting Gust 3. You can get ultimate, but it ruins skill. So yeah, just use Blasting Gust 3. And Blasting Gust is really nice. It gives you nice range damage, and you can use it to get your mana back in large packs. Just again, everything with Pre-Awakened Ranger will drain your mana and your stamina, so you have to be really, really careful what you're doing, and you'll soon notice you'll run out of stamina very, very quickly. So yeah, you do have to pay attention to it. And you can see here, I'm just going to quickly show you, this is Call from Sky, which is not a PvE skill, but a PvP skill, but you should get used to kind of using it. It's only 5 skill points, and it's like one of the most important PvP skills pre-awakening you'll get. You can use it by either shift left click on the ground and then space, or by using your F button to go into a charging kick and then space. Allows you to do Call from Sky. It's basically an iframe. It's not a true iframe, it's just a hard hitbox to hit, I think. But I've been pulled out of it, so yeah, I'm fairly certain it's not an iframe. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much that. It's pretty easy going up. The PvE skills aren't super complicated. It's just a lot of Will of the Wind and shotgun basically until you're awakened. So this is the first part of the guide. Yeah, it's pretty simple stuff for Ranger Pre-Awakening, but it should at least help you. And you know, the gear I got is basically pretty good gear. The only difference you could really look at is maybe getting a Bronze Dagger for the accuracy to level up with. That's not like a terrible idea either. Generally, you won't miss that much on stuff, so it's okay to use a Steel Dagger as well for the pure AP factor of that. So for a few remaining final points worth note, for the crystals I would attempt to max attack speed with them. You can also use the food to try and do that as well. Attack speed is really important as a ranger. You can also look at crit as well, and also movement speed, but those two are less important compared to your attack speed. For your skill add-ons, I would look at maybe adding on Will of the Wind. I have attack speed 7% and accuracy 5% for myself. Evasive explosive shot, all defense plus 15 and all evasion plus 5% when using it. And Blasting Gust, which is your Q. For that I have accuracy plus 3% and inflict pain damage 45. So those are the add-ons that I have, but look at what you might want to use yourself. Remember, you can reset all this stuff as much as you like until you're level 56. And as for your food buffs, I would generally not worry too much about getting those triple stacked PvP food buffs at game. At this point, you're just trying to level, so I would look at maybe going Smooth Milk Tea, obviously for the experience boost, and then probably something along the lines of a Modiah special in order to get the attack speed from that, or something along those lines. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this video series. If you're a ranger and you have any questions, feel free to leave them below, although again, keep in mind that a lot of stuff will probably come in later videos. But if there's any stuff you think that's early game stuff that I should have included, or you have any questions about stuff that you're getting stuck on as a pre-awakened ranger, please do let me know in the comments section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next part of the video.